What's happening, y'all? Welcome back to Wake Up Barstool. We talked to him digitally over Zoom. We've interviewed this man before. Very excited to have him in studio. That's SLU head coach Josh Schertz. What's up, Coach? Thank you so much for joining us today, man.
Hey, appreciate you guys having me on, man. Awesome to be here in studio.
Yeah, man. So y'all got a big game coming up here locally tomorrow, 7:30. Loyola, Big T. You're going to be in the crowd.
Yeah, I bought my tickets a few weeks ago. I'm making my fiance go.
So I'm gonna.
I make her go. I make her just go watch mid-major basketball games whenever a good team comes in.
Love it.
And this is a very good team.
Yeah.
I was telling Coach Schirtz, my little brother just had a baby. He lives in St. Louis, so I went up to meet the baby a couple of weeks ago. Shout out, baby bud. And you know, we're out, and me and my wife got to go to dinner, and we're like just having some drinks. And bro, SLU is the talk of the town right now.
Yeah, it's super cool. You know, I went last year or in May. It was I guess to the Blues. Were playing Game 6 at home. And in the NHL playoffs, and I remember like the Enterprise Center was rocking, and I posted a video, and I was like, you know, you could see what a great sports town it is.
Yeah.
If you're winning, you know, what I mean? And that's the way it is every sports town, right? So like, but if you're winning, what a great sports town it could be, and so to have that, you know, you flash forward, and 9 months later, you know, you're selling out. You know, we've sold out, I think, 2 games in a row. Our VCU game on the 20th already sold out. You know, we're selling out, you know, 10,000 plus, and the community and the student section to embrace it, man. It's super cool to see that all kind of come together.
Well, and I know we talked about it in the past, but I mean, it's you know, you did it on a lower level. You know, moved up. You're actually the winningest active coach in the NCAA right now from a win percentage perspective over a decade. But when you look at some of the larger college basketball trends, right, like a lot of these big schools, it seems like this has been a very dominant year for freshmen. Mm-hmm. How do you, I guess, do you try to emulate what the current trends are? Is it more about meeting kind of your school where the resources are at? And then do you think you have an advantage over maybe some of these younger cats when you're going to run up against them in some of these bigger stages?
Yeah, no, it's a great question. I think, you know, we've had an incredible freshman class, and those guys are all lottery picks, you know, playing in college.
Yeah.
You know, and I think the majority of freshmen, I don't know the numbers or data on it, but I would think, you know, outside, it's such a top-heavy deal where these guys who are going to be, you know, NBA All-Stars are doing a year in college, and they're coming in and really dominating, you know, at a level maybe we haven't seen in terms of depth. And but then I think if you look at it broader scale, most of the teams that aren't getting those lottery picks, the good teams are, you know, doing a great job of, you know, everybody talks about, you know, get old, stay old. And I think the best teams, and I think it gets lost a little bit in today's world, is getting old together. And the value of shared experience, right?
Nowadays.
Right, yeah. And the best teams are able to find a way. You know, nothing has changed with, like, you know, I became a head coach 18 years ago. And the key then was, you know, you had to recruit great players.
Yeah.
You had to develop the heck out of them, and you had to retain them. That was the key to building a successful program. It's actually the same today. It's just that number 1, recruiting, and number 3, retaining, with transfer portal, with NIL, are completely different than they were, you know, even 5 years ago. So, but the programs that aren't, you know, getting those lottery picks, I still think, you know, that's what it's about. Can you find a way in an environment where every rule is designed to fracture continuity? Can you find a way to have continuity, to build that shared experience, that accumulated mileage? Because that's your ability, if you don't have unlimited resources, to be able to level the playing field.
You mentioned retaining, which I'm really curious what it's like from a coach from your perspective, who you have your team ranked, like you're an outstanding coach, but you're still at a mid-major program, and I'm sure, like you were able to bring Robbie Avila with you from Indiana State to St. Louis. I'm sure he had a ton of interest from much bigger programs. How do you deal with that as a coach who can clearly develop a program like St. Louis into a contender, but these guys have offers of millions of dollars from, you know, Kentucky, Tennessee, whoever else?
Yeah, it's a great question. I don't think that, you know, there's an easy answer, but I think it all starts with, you know, you have to build relationships. And I know that sounds, you know, but I think, you know, genuine, authentic relationships. You have to create a work environment where guys feel like they can be their best version of themselves. You have to put them in a system where guys feel like, hey, I'm playing and able to do all the things I can do. There's no restraints or handcuffs on me in terms of how I play or what I can do. Like Robbie's a great example. You know, he's 6'10", but he doesn't play like a typical. I mean, he comes off ball screens. He leads us in pick and roll where he's a handler. You know, he shoots a ton of threes. He handles and play makes. And so if Robbie's in a system where it was more constrained, or maybe he felt like, he wasn't able to kind of access the entirety of his game, he might not, be with us. And so I think that's a big part of it. I think the relational aspect, and I think the relational aspect is also, player-coach, but also player-player, in today's world. Those are the most important relationships.
How do you build those relationships, though? Like, I understand it's important to build them, but what techniques, like, how do you do it?
Yeah, no, I think, there's a great time investment. I think we do it in recruiting, in the process before they get there. And then once they're there, we pour everything we have into those guys. Everything we have from film in terms of how we operate, how we develop guys. Player development's still the lifeblood in my mind. I cut my teeth in Division II. I was a Division II coach for 13 years. At that level, you're not getting top shelf guys. You're not getting ranked guys. Like, nobody I ever recruited in my 13 years there was ever ranked. Now, we had a ton of guys play pro, guys playing the NBA, but nobody came to us that was like a ranked player. So the ability to get guys in, to create a vision, paint it, and then pour into those guys and be genuine about it. I think players, if you're a coach, players will follow you if they think that you genuinely care about them authentically at a real level, that they can trust you. Like, whatever you tell them, you'll never deviate from that. They 100% know if you tell them something is the truth, and that you're competent, that you actually know what you're doing. You can make them a better player and make the team the best version of. If players know that you care about them deeply, they know that they can trust you, and they think that you're competent in terms of, and this is the way it is, for them first. Can you make me the best player I can be? And then most smart players understand winning drives their value, team success, right? Gives them all the things they want. So if they think you're competent to help them and the group succeed, then I do think you have the ability to get guys to buy in and then retain them over time.
That's so crazy, because that has been a consistent line that I've talked about through the years, is like, as a player, all you want is, do you have a coach where you can trust fully and implicitly, like, if I do what he's telling me to do, it's going to make me better, even if it sounds crazy.
Right.
Even if it's hard. And, like, I've only achieved that with one coach in my entire life.
Yeah.
And he's been the best coach. And, I'm still in love with him. And I talked about, like, so that's very, I've never heard that kind of independently mirrored there. What about this, Coach? If you look around the country, maybe in terms of style of play, a team that you find interesting, is there anybody that jumps off the page to you like, man, I really like what they're doing over there right now? Or, oh, that's very impressive.
Yeah, I think you're seeing the trend now where, like, teams are going, these high major teams are going mega big.
Yeah.
You look at like how Michigan's playing with really three bigs, and Florida's playing with three bigs, and you look at like Arizona towards the bottom of the country in 3-point attempts, but they've been number one in the country. Look at Florida. I think last is in 3-point percentage, and they're a dominant team, and obviously I'm super obviously good friends with Dusty May, and I watch Michigan and the job they're doing and the team they have, and when you pair an elite coach with elite talent and resources, what that looks like, and so I think you're seeing those trends where like teams are going where it used to be, man, can we downsize and shoot a ton of threes, the Villanova, Jay Wright deal.
Yeah. Now
you're seeing like some teams at the highest level that have the resource to do it. They're playing, 2 5s and a 4-man together. They're playing, lineups where maybe it's 6'10", 6'10", 7'3". If you're looking at Michigan, Florida, same thing with, Hawk Khan and Chinyelu. So I think that's such an interesting way to play, and you're seeing guys really adapt that and dominate the rim and physically overwhelm, smaller teams. And that's what they're trying to do, and they're doing an unbelievable job of it. Arizona as well, where like they're not shooting threes, which is
it's crazy. They're going off script.
They're dominating.
Zagging.
Correct. And I think that's where you're seeing the game in college trend to. We can't really do it in the NBA because you can't create that kind of size differential.
Yeah.
But in college you can.
So what do you if you run into one of those guys, you're trying to game plan against them, what's the key there?
Yeah, I mean, I think
they're just bigger.
Yeah, they're just bigger. I think you got to find ways to, to use your speed and use your quickness. And we have big guards, but certainly, they have to guard you as well. And then, where can you bring and how do you double team? And then the ability, on the glass is where they really hurt you.
Yeah.
And there's nothing you could do there other than, how do you create physicality? How do you create space? Are you tough enough if you're smaller to use a lower center of gravity to get these big guys, get low, and try to drive them out, and low man wins. And so can you be tough enough to do that? Now, that's easy to talk about, but when you're really up in there, that's the key on those teams. Those teams just dominate you around the rim. They make it so hard to score at the rim because of their size. And then on the other end, They dominate the offensive, defensive glass. So when we run into a team like that, and hopefully we're good enough that we will, then you got to plan the way that gives you the best chance to win, and you got to make it hard for them to guard you. We shoot so many threes, so that's the great equalizer in college basketball is the three-point line.
You said hopefully you'll run into one of those teams. I've got a question, but you have to promise not to give me coach speak.
All right, gotcha.
Okay, so you're planning on winning every game the rest of the way. So let's say you finish 34-1, whatever that would be. You win the A-10 tournament. What seed do you think your team should have in the NCAA tournament?
I would think if we go 33-1, I would think without question a top 4 seed. Without question.
It's completely fair.
I mean, we're in one of the better leagues. I know it doesn't get the same press as the Power 5, but you look at the A-10, top to bottom, incredible league. I think 4 of our last 6 games are quad 1, quad 2. We've already played 6 or 7 of them. If we go 33-1 in this league and win the tournament, and we're fortunate to do that, without question, I think a top 4 seed, 3 or 4 would be a seed line.
Coach, have you seen this LED court that the Big 12's busting out?
Mm-mm.
Look at this. This is going to be for the Big 12 tournament. It's a court that I guess is like a giant LED screen. Is that?
That's super cool. Is that in Kansas City?
Yeah, they're using it for the tournament.
Really? That's awesome.
Okay, so you would be in favor? Like, would you be in favor of?
You
playing
want your
this?
guys playing on
See,
this?
No, but I just think it looks cool. It looks cool to me.
But here's my thing.
I don't know how it would play on. I just love the aesthetics.
So here's my thing. During the game, it's just going to look like a regular court, and then they're just going to use it for ads or something during timeouts.
Gotcha.
It serves no function.
Is it a regular court though?
It's like glass. I don't know how
I don't know about that. If it's glass, I thought it was just.
I assume there's some sort of layer on top of it that feels like a regular
they
court.
used it in the All-Star game, right? So it has to, at some point, it has to be indiscernible from a regular court. If it's not, then, what are we doing?
Yeah, I didn't see nobody complain about it on Twitter or anything.
I'd have to be on, but the idea of that stuff to create fan experience or I guess advertising dollars, right? Is that what everybody's looking for? Ways to generate revenue?
It really is for ads. But what if when Robbie hit a badass 3, flames exploded out of his feet? That would be sick.
That'd be the first time flames exploded out of his feet. I can tell you watching him run. So that'd be the first time anything came out of those feet.
Hey, he's shifty, dude. He's got that off-kilter rhythm.
He is. He's people think he's like a step slow, but he's really 2 steps slow, so it actually throws people off.
Yeah, it's kind of like the Luka thing.
Yeah.
Below hitting speed.
Yeah, that's right, exactly. People underestimate how slow he is.
What's happening, y'all? Welcome back to Wake Up Barstool. We're sitting down here with SLU head coach Josh Schertz. Coach, okay, so Rico Bosco, he's our main college basketball guy.
Yeah.
And a lot, when we first had you on, he was feeding me some intel. He said he's at his happiest when he's eating and coaching basketball. Leaving me some great articles. I did not know this though. Is this true? Were you a tennis prodigy?
I think prodigy is a strong word, but tennis player. Yeah, I grew up a tennis player.
Were you a pretty competitive tennis player growing up?
Yeah, I was a nationally ranked tennis player. Yeah.
Oh, let's go, dude. Do you still play today?
No, look at me. I'm not playing. No. I haven't played in a while. I was playing. Last time I played, I was playing a match. I lived in. I was a D2 coach in Tennessee. I was playing in this league in Knoxville, and I'm in the 3rd set. I'm playing at this, and these guys took it so serious. They're teaching pros. I was playing at a pretty high level.
Yeah, well, you had to be, yeah.
And so I'm playing, and these guys are they're warming up. They got all the AirPods in. I'm just going out with a racket, and I'm playing the 3rd set, and I look down. I don't practice. I don't do anything, and my grip is just filled with blood because I don't have the calluses. I'm 3. It's 100 degrees outside. I'm what am I doing? Why am I? So I just I play some pickleball now and stuff that's a little easier on the body.
Well, so I was going to ask what you think about pickleball.
No, it's fine. It's good for old people like me that don't do tennis anymore. It's
so
fun.
You don't think it's tennis erasure?
No, I don't think so. I think tennis is much more physically
taking over
demanding.
A lot of our spaces, though, dude.
Yeah, no, it is. I know it's gotten super popular. I think tennis is much more competitive to me than pickleball.
For sure.
At least the way I view it. Now, my first time playing pickleball, I went to Colorado. I'm playing. I'd never played before, and I'm doing this Team USA stuff, and I'm playing a doubles with Tommy Lloyd, Grant McCaslin, and John Shire because we're all out there coaching for Team USA under 19, and these guys all have courts in their house, and I've never played before. And it's Shire and I are playing McCaslin and Tommy Lloyd. And I just remember, I kept stepping in the kitchen, which is frowned upon, which I didn't know. But in tennis, but tennis rules, if the ball's in the air, you want to get as close to net as possible to cut off angles. So I'm just playing the way I play tennis. I've never played pickleball. And Shire's just getting frustrated with me because I keep costing us points because they kept dinging us for me stepping in the kitchen. So that was my first experience. So I've gotten a little better since then.
Did you beat their ass though?
No, Tommy and Grant were too good. They have a course in their house. I mean, I don't, So maybe now I'd be a little more competitive though. Shire's very competitive though. I was very upset with my lack of understanding of the game of pickleball.
Well, it's not intuitive.
Yeah.
It's not intuitive. There's some weird restrictions.
It's
like
very
the serve
weird.
And stay thing, I never really understood.
The third ball you can then take out the air, but not something in
get
the kitchen. It actually takes away angles, and everybody dinks it. So yeah, I've learned to kind of play it, but I certainly still prefer if I could play tennis would be over pickleball.
Coach, what about? Yeah, I think I'm about to have to do it too because my shoulder can't freaking lift it up anymore. What about this though? Tournament time coming up, and obviously you got to take everything one step at a time, right? You're not afforded necessarily the margin of error that some of the bigger schools are. So how do you, because you have such a good team, y'all have been so hot, but basketball being cruel, where you have to peak at that right time, okay? And you're very experienced in this regard. So what's the process there? How do you try to accomplish that?
Great question. I think always we talk a lot about your circumstances as a team are fluid, right? All season. They go up and down. The solutions are not fluid, right? The principles, values, bedrocks, you have to have those in place. And what we talk a lot about with our program is, you have to have things that kind of keep you anchored. There's a big difference in a winning culture and a culture where you can win.
Yeah.
I think in a winning culture, you're kind of a weather vane for results. Results go, and you go as the results do. You win, sky high, you lose, you're discouraged. I think we have a culture where you can win. You have principles, values, standards, bedrocks that can keep you anchored and grounded through the ups and downs of a season. So when we talk about with our guys, from June on, be where your feet are, be present, stack days, grow and learn from every experience, be obsessed with improvement. All these different things that we talk about from June on, those are the same solutions that there are in February to keeping us grounded. Because if we can really be where our feet are, stack days, grow and learn from every experience and take those lessons and fly them forward. If we can really be obsessed with improvement and take the emotion out and not be focused on outcomes, it gives us a chance to hopefully put our heads down. Next thing you look up and we've won 17 games in a row.
Yeah.
But you win 17 games in a row by not focusing on winning 17 games in a row, right? And you make the NCAA tournament and get a good seed and win a championship by not focusing on that. You focus on the bedrocks that have been in place, and that allows you to eliminate, we always talk about internal standards over external conversations. And I think you got to be locked into what you're doing internally.
And I mean, those are all incredible principles that I think could apply to really anything in life, not just sports or basketball. And then once the job is done, then maybe you have a couple beers, have some fun. I think we have video of you buying, is this video of Coach buying drinks? Is this for the fans after the Dayton game?
Yeah.
And the powers that be tried to get you in trouble for this, right?
That was on I think a Twitter account that was parody, but yeah, I didn't get any trouble. Other than my own self in trouble because I was feeling it the next day.
Okay, well I'm glad there was no action taken.
No
This
action.
is what should be happening.
Right.
Yeah, especially this is a man of the people. This is how you get the crowd.
Our fans were awesome that week. We had George Washington and Dayton at home, 2 huge home games. Our student section packed the place out. So I told the staff, I said, I'm going to buy the students. They all go to Humphreys right off campus, this big, bar after games. And I said, I'm going to go buy the students a drink. They were awesome. 2 games, packed out the gills, and cheered us on, put the wind at our back to get 2 wins. I go in. My plan was to buy a round for everybody, all the students. It turned into, when I went to buy the round, hey, help us make drinks. Why don't you help serve? So I was like, I've never done this before. They're like, don't worry about it. So I saw a cocktail with Tom Cruise. I figured it couldn't be that hard. I went in, made some. That's a reference nobody under 50 will know. But no one knows that reference. But I went back, made drinks, and then I served drinks to the students. And obviously everyone's like, "Oh, do a shot." So I did. And then next thing you know, I went in. I bought drinks for the entire place. I served drinks. I drank and I paid and I didn't get tipped. I just literally, everything was, and I don't know that was the experience I was hoping for, that I paid for all the drinks, served everybody, did some shots, and then got no tip, nothing else.
You know what it kind of sounds like? It sounds like being a parent.
Yeah.
It's a very selfless endeavor.
Yeah, it was completely selfless on my part. I went in with good intentions, but yeah, I paid the consequence the next day.
But how about this, Coach? Our research team has put together a graphic here because your son is currently a top 6 scorer in the country.
Yeah.
for coaches' sons.
Yeah, we got to
per
keep that.
game.
I don't like the fact they got to white out the what the average is. So that just
we
shows.
gotta keep that,
that just
it's
shows.
small print.
Yeah,
Leave
small
it
print,
small.
small print. Nobody can see that average.
I'm trying to think who would be above him.
Oh, there's
Who
one.
were
One guy that cost us an NCAA tournament bid when I was in the state. Tucker DeVries is number one for
dude.
sure. Sam Hoiberg's got to be up there.
That's right.
You know, Fred Hoiberg's kid. Most coaches' kids are not great. The fact that my son averages 0.9 points a game and is 6 out of 15 is more of an indictment to the other people than it is a credit to my son.
Top
but
six.
hey, genetics rule. So he's averaging 0.9 points a game more than I would at this level.
Coach, so Loyola tomorrow night. I know it's a big game for y'all. It's a great area to be in. What's SLU got going on? How are you planning on kind of taking advantage of this spot?
Yeah, huge opportunity, national TV. Both teams coming off a bye week. I've been friends with Drew for a long time. Valentine, head coach at Loyola, one of the really bright young coaches in our game. He's fantastic, and so he'll have him ready to go. We got to come out and play well. We got a huge weekend. We got alumni weekend, so we'll have a lot of our fans here, our board of trustees, president. A lot of our athletic administration coming up, and it's a big time. President's unveiling, new president unveiling his objectives, and so athletics is one of those pillars, along with student success and enrollment and research, and so it's a great opportunity to get everybody together up here in Chicago. Unbelievable city, great opportunity for us on national TV to play against a really, I think, a Loyola team that's healthy and coached by one of the best coaches in college basketball. So we're looking forward to it.
This has got to be the best road trip in the A10, right? I'm trying to think of what are the top three.
Top three road trips. Let's see. I know some not. I won't say because I don't want to put them in trouble. I was about to say something, but I'm not going to say it. Chicago, definitely up there. Philadelphia's cool. The Bronx is cool. We go up to Fordham. I think those
That's
are
right,
those cool.
you get New York.
DC is pretty cool. DC, we got GW and George Mason.
Yeah.
So, but I would think Chicago is to me the coolest one of all of them, just because I'm in a Chicago studio, and you guys would be pissed if I said anything else. But no, it's truly it is. I
Big
love
T
Chicago.
hates everything.
No, I mean, dude, if you walked
Chicago's awesome.
If you walked outside, you're not.
Yeah. No. Chicago is a cool. It's the closest one for us too.
Yeah.
And to me, it's I've just always loved Chicago. Love being up here. Actually, I got to get up this summer. I want to get to a game at Wrigley. I haven't done that yet. That's a bucket
Oh, it's
list,
incredible, dude. Wait, Coach, real quick before we go.
Coach, speaking
Carson's
of things
been
in Chicago,
staring at
we
you
got
all
something
day.
shipped
Wow.
up.
Oh, look at that. Oh my God.
I
Thank
love
you, Carson.
that.
You said you liked Carson's jersey last
my
time.
God,
He
I
designed
did love
these
it.
when
Oh
he was
my
at
God.
SLU.
Look at this.
We're going to have a Coach Schirtz sweater. Look at that. It's got the arch right there
And
at
the
the top,
18
dude.
for 18 SLU.
Look at
We gotta
that,
give a
dude.
shout out to SLU Hockey. They
Yes.
set that up for me to help me get it up
Hey,
for you.
that is awesome. This is definitely going to be worn.
Thanks for coming by,
Hey,
Coach. I
thank
wanna
you so
see
much,
that on
Carson.
you.
Appreciate it.
I'll see you
Absolutely.
Friday.
Look at that handshake. Great job.
Wow.
You're the
Hey,
best.
you're the best. I got it.